in the Race for the Cure. Remember how many years ago that was? How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
We didn't know each other through our foster grants there.
No, not particularly. Is
Your
he
hat.
still videoing?
Yes, of course. Here.
Well, hey, come out and do a project. Come out and do a video with our horses.
Where?
Jupiter Farms. I work with at-risk youth. I take people on cattle drives. I do trail rides. We do workshops. We teach people about horses, and we teach about how taking care of horses is a metaphor for your life.
Is there a website?
Yes, www.nature-speaks.com.
Well, it's a crazy day in West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach putting the Wild West back in that title. Because today, for the first time I think ever in the history of West Palm Beach, there is going to be a cattle drive and right here in downtown West Palm Beach, straight down Clematis Street. So there's a crowd that's gathering and building even as we speak, because this is something very different, very unique. And so we're going to see how it goes, and I sure am glad I'm not the cleanup crew after today's cattle drive down Clematis Street. Let's go take a look.
and the steer wrestling and the rodeos. So they tip the end so that they don't hurt themselves. When you get them together, you don't have to worry about them poking one another or getting a blemish on them.
I see they behave themselves today, so they get rewarded with a little grass grazing. Is that it?
Yes. We're over there around Okeechobee. we've had such a hard freeze, the grass is all dead and brown, so first green grass they've seen in a while, they're pretty excited.
I'm sure they are. What is your name, sir?
Brad Ferris.
Brad Ferris, Tim Bird, the Birdman. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Welcome to West Palm Beach, and welcome to the horses and the cows and everything.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Pleasure to meet you.
Tim Bird, the Birdman, downtown West Palm Beach. Very momentous day today. Joan Goldberg, who was sort of spearheading the idea of a cattle drive in West Palm Beach, putting the Wild West back in West Palm Beach. The people said you were crazy, but you know, it went off without a hitch today.
Well, we kind of knew it would. Very often we have a Hollywood image of what cattle drives are all about.
Yeah.
But the real important thing is bringing awareness to how important the cattle industry is as both heritage culture for the state of Florida.
I was going to say Florida. People always go Texas and other places, but they don't think of Florida because of the oranges. You know, the association with oranges, I should say. But we have a huge farming area in the state of Florida and in Palm Beach County and surrounding areas. It's amazing.
Well, some things that people really don't realize is that horses and cows made their way into North America when Ponce de Leon arrived in Florida in 1521. And that's how we got populated in North America with the cattle. So right from the beginning, this is a part of the heritage here. Also, people also don't realize that the cattle ranches, 6 of the top 10 producing ranches in North America are right here in the state of Florida. And they also have a very important role because they are a key component in Everglades conservation. The ranches really create a natural buffer between where people live and our wildlife, and they're preserving the land for a really long time. So there's a lot of important things of why I wanted people to see. If I may,
yes,
please go into the Lake Pavilion. Throughout the month, we're having an exhibition, Florida Cowboys, Keepers of the Last Frontier, by an 8th generation cattleman right here in the state. Carlton Ward, and it's a very important exhibition.
Say, he's a very famous photographer of that culture and that genre.
He is perhaps the leading photographer, and he's one of our own right here in the state.
Yes.
And being 8th generation cattleman, he really understands the importance of the whole cattle and cowboy culture here in the state.
Yes. Joan Goldberg of the city of West Palm Beach. I'm Tim Bird, the Birdman, and we got a quick interview and a little update. And the cows are grazing for being on good behavior today.
They are indeed. I went without a hitch. This is a good thing. It's the first time these particular cattle have been in a urban environment.
Joan, thank you so much.
Good to see you.
From Tampa, and I'm an 8th generation Floridian, have a lot of family still in the cattle ranching industry, and I wanted to bring awareness to that. It's not just something from the past, but a very vibrant part of our living heritage, and a key part of protecting the Everglades and providing food for all of us.
So you're from Tampa. At what age did you gain an interest in this?
I'd been working in Africa with the Smithsonian doing conservation work, and started to get increasingly concerned about the loss of heritage in our own state, so kind of looked for a long-term project where we could make a difference.
Yes. Well, it certainly seems that you're making a big impact.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have these guys out here. Many of them are friends to me, and they're all heroes. I mean, they're the ones out there every day doing the hard work and keeping the heritage alive, and people here were able to see them today.
The cattle today, you told me, belongs to the Seminole tribe.
Correct.
So that in itself is historical.
Yes, they were some of the first.
One last quick question for you. We haven't had a chance to get to the pavilion to see the body of work that's there. Can you give us a synopsis?
I can. The exhibit's called Florida Cowboys, Keepers of the Last Frontier, and it covers the culture and the environment of Florida ranching, pictures from lands like the Seminole tribe around Okeechobee, pictures from the largest cow-producing ranch in the United States outside of Orlando, panthers and black bears and other wildlife that rely on these spaces also.
Yes. Wow. It's all amazing, and we invite the public, of course, to come to the pavilion downtown West Palm Beach to see the beautiful display of his work. And of course, it's at the pavilion downtown West Palm Beach. Carlton Ward Jr. an incredible man. Thank you so much
Thank you for your
time.
interest. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye.
Pictures.
I'm standing next to Mr. Johns, and you actually are a member of the Seminole tribe, is that correct?
That's right.
And the cattle here today belongs to the Seminole tribe.
Yes, sir.
In an interesting way, it's all very historical. Can you shed some light on that?
Yes, sir. History of cattle here in Florida is about 500 years old, and I'm part of the Seminole tribe. But our history shows we've been involved with cattle for a long time. We like to think probably for the 500 years before we were called Seminoles. So we've got a long history of owning cattle. Still own a bunch today.
How many acres? Do you have any idea how many acres the Seminole tribe cattle graze on?
We've got probably near 100,000 acres that we take care of ranch cattle on.
So you sort of shepherd the ground and the animals then?
Yes, sir, and and the wildlife that comes along with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What was your thoughts and opinion on today's city-fied cattle drive?
Well, it's a great experience for us and for our cowboys to come over here. Most of them don't get off the ranch much. Horses don't get off the ranch or the cattle, so kind of, we was a little nervous at first, but we knew what we was doing, and cattle fell in place. Everybody was in the right spot, and it was a success, and we enjoyed it.
Well, it was not anything bad happened. No cattle got out of line or nervous or boisterous or anything like that. And I call that a real big success. Is this the first time they've been on like a city street?
These cattle here,
Yes.
they participated in the Okeechobee Cattle Drive, but it's a little more rural setting than it is here.
Yes.
But
yes.
this isn't their first time, but probably the biggest city they've ever been to.
So would it be the first time they've been around the streets and the cars and
Yes,
the
sir.
crowd that close up?
Yes, sir.
And so I would say you gentlemen showed how talented you are because they went off without a hitch.
Yes, sir.
And they're glad to be grazing now for good behavior,
That's
right?
right. That's right. We're going to get them home, get them some more feed and water, and same for ourselves.
And is this your first city experience?
That's the biggest cattle drive as far as being in the city setting. I've participated in.
Mr. Johns, thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate
We
it.
appreciate your information
Yes,
and
sir.
wish you the very best. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
We need hotel space here for beds and visitors and tourists and all of that. Tell us the rest of the story.
We do. We're going to name it Hotel Clematis, and it's going to be a boutique hotel. It's going to be about 95 rooms. It's going to have a Provident jewelry store downstairs on the corner space with a third-story restaurant and a rooftop pool and workout area.
Also involved with the big show coming up. Tell us about that as well. The art.
That's called the Palm Beach Jewelry Art and Antique Show, and this is our 8th year. Company's been here for 10 years, and it will be in the convention center. It's always President's Day weekend. It'll feature about 200 exhibitors, and those exhibitors come from all over the world, from England, from France, from Italy, and here in the United States. And it's a really exciting event.
And a little closer to the event, I guess you'll be starting to leak the word about what sort of exhibits will be arriving.
Yes, we do have one new very large exhibitor. Fred Layton will be doing the show with us this year, and that's one of our new additions. But we have many new additions, as well as tremendous variety of items. We like to say everything that kings and queens and princes have coveted throughout the years. The entire art range for the last 5,000 years will be at the show, from ancient to contemporary.
Oh my goodness, that sounds exciting. You're actually transferring your exciting life into exciting life with the public at large, with the hotel and the art show and all of that coming up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Tim.
Tim Bird, the Birdman from Palm Beach. Live, work, and play.